Behold, the new threat to national security. Hey, this is Brian. Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. My apologies for having not uploaded any videos in the last 2 days on this channel. I, as some of you know, mysteriously got my High Impact Vlogs channel back after having been terminated for 5 years on this platform. So I've been trying to build that channel up. If you haven't visited it yet, it's called High Impact Vlogs. I'll leave a link in the description. And also I've been uploading new content on Here's the Deal channel. Now we have a new, I don't know if you want to call it a scare tactic. I don't know if this is really going on. I do know we have a history of the US government telling us something is a certain way, but we find out later, it wasn't that way at all. And all you were trying to do was bleed us of more and more money. So we have a new boogeyman, or a new boogie larva, a boogie insect, boogie fly. Anyway, it's called the New World Flesh-Eating Screwworm. And what the government wants us to know is that they need $850 million extra dollars to save us from this little bugger right here. That is the screwworm. They say it's a larvae. They say it is a parasite. We're going to listen to this news story. But before we do, I just want to remind you of what all governments, all government functionaries, all social engineers, all psychological operators, every single one of them knows what Hermann Goering said back in the 1930s. Naturally, he said, the common people don't want war, but after all, it's the leaders of the country who determine the policy. And it's always a simple matter to drag the people along, whether it's a democracy or fascist dictatorship or parliament or communist dictatorship. All you have to do is tell them they're being attacked, whether they're being attacked by a foreign country or being attacked by people who hate our freedoms, or being attacked by a fly or a larvae. All you have to do is say, hey, we're about to be attacked. Beef prices, you think they're up right now? They're really going to go up after this larvae takes over. And denounce the pacifists for lack of patriotism or lack of concern about some fly that's going to eat our livestock and exposing the country to danger. It works the same in every country. Yes, indeed it does. So the question is, are we currently, with the history that we have of the US government lying to us, are we currently being lied to so they can do two things? Extract more money from us. In this case, it's $850 million, and hide the fact that certain policies enacted by this administration and the last administration are making our food prices go off the charts. Have you seen beef prices lately? I remember a year and a half ago where you could buy a ribeye in Walmart or in my other local grocery store for $12.95 a pound. Now it's $21.95. The price has nearly doubled. And now what may be happening here is that the government is concocting this new scheme of the New World flesh-eating screwworm. He's screwing with us. That's what's going on. Oh, it's this. That's why beef prices are going up. That's why we need $850 million more dollars to build these facilities so that we can create more screwworms. First, before we take a look at this news story right here, I want to show you the people who are directly involved in creating a new form of screwworm that's radiated and sterilized to minimize and eradicate the population of this flesh-eating parasite.
The sterile fly production plant in Pecora was inaugurated on July 12, 2006, leaving most of Panama free of this pest and establishing a biological barrier in the eastern zone of Panama. The sterile fly production plant operates 24/7 all year to produce tens of millions of sterile New World screwworm pupae per week. For mass production within the plant, the screwworms are fed an artificial diet and kept in controlled environments that simulate natural conditions. However, it allows for complete control over the insect's development and life cycle progression.
Government-funded screwworm production. What can possibly go wrong? Now, apparently they did this also back in the 1960s and successfully eradicated the screwworm population, they tell us, but they're trying to, is this a propaganda campaign to get the masses to believe that we actually do have this problem and we need to come off with $850 million so that they can solve this problem for us. Hey, we're from the government. We're here to help. What's the problem you guys got? Oh, we got this flesh-eating screwworm. Can you help us with that? Well, of course we can. I'll tell you what, how about just a little under $1 billion? We got it taken care of.
The Departments of Biological Security, Production, Irradiation, Methods in Development, and Quality Control all play integral parts and touch on at least one of the life stages as the New World screwworm goes from egg to larva to pupa and eventually fly.
And the news is jumping in on what could be a propaganda campaign for the flesh-eating screwworm.
Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary met Governor Abbott today to announce steps to battle an invasive species that could threaten Texas livestock. That invasive pest has been spreading.
Could invade. Listen to where they say they found a concentration of them, how far it is away from our border, and how little evidence they give us that there's actually a problem going on.
North through Mexico. Fox 4 Sean Rabb joins us to explain. Sean.
And good evening, Clarice. This threat is something called the New American Screwworm Fly. And
now he's calling it a threat. She said could be. He's saying it is a threat.
It's called a fly. It's really a parasite. It's more than 300 miles from Texas on the southern border. The federal government joining Governor Abbott, sounding a dire warning about the damage that could be done to Texas cattle industry and the food you buy.
Oh, it's a dire warning. Oh, yeah, where is it? 300 miles south of the Texas border. How do we know? Just take our word for it. We got the statistics and we got the reports.
This is an issue that is essential to the cattle industry, to food supply, which are at risk because of a screwworm.
This is what's called the New American Screwworm Fly.
It's basically, Sean, a parasitic fly that lays eggs in living tissue.
Dr. Roel Lopez leads the Natural Resources Institute at Texas A&M. The screwworm fly posing a threat to not only wild animals or pets, but most importantly, livestock.
This can result in billions of dollars of losses a year. It could truly crush the cattle industry as well as other livestock industry in Texas.
The fly is.
If we don't do this right now, if we don't spend this money, if you don't let the government help you out here, this is going to cost billions of dollars in lost cattle.
Not here, Sean. The last outbreak in the United States was in 2017 in the Florida Keys that impacted the endangered Florida key deer. That was quickly put under control through this sterile fly technique.
The
sterile fly technique, kind of like the sterile mosquito technique dropped from Bill Gates' planes. I wonder if Bill Gates is going to be involved in this.
sterile insect technique.
What are the negatives? What are the downsides to this? Okay, we create 300 million sterile flies a week at this $21 million production plant and then create these other production plants. But what are the downsides? What could these sterile flies do, these radiated flies?
It's a process where flies are produced in a facility, then exposed to radiation to be sterilized. Sterile male flies are then released into areas where the screwworm's been identified.
We have launched an 8.5 million sterile fly dispersal facility in South Texas, and we have invested about $21 million towards renovating.
Wait a minute.
We have launched an 8.5 million sterile fly dispersal facility in South Texas.
$8.5 million fly dispersal facility. $8.5 million for one building? Okay, I just got to ask, who benefits? Shouldn't we use the investigative directive, follow the money? Who's going to be getting all this easy money? $8.5 million for one building?
And we have invested about $21 million towards renovating an existing sterile fruit fly production facility in Mexico to
$21 million to renovate another facility that's not even in this country? It's bad enough that they're going to be spending all this money, but all those dollars are going to leave and go to Mexico?
Produce up to 100 million more sterile flies needed for eradication.
Fort Worth's Brooke Rollins is the Trump administration's agriculture secretary.
Today, we are going even further and taking the most sweeping actions in our country's history to date to stop this pest in its tracks.
The federal government committing $850 million to fight the fly, $750 million to build a sterile fly production facility. That facility will produce 300 million sterile male flies a week.
$750 million for a sterile fly production facility. Just one?
To be dropped into target areas where the screwworm is now. $100 million for new screwworm detection technology. And Mexico in full partnership with the U.S. fighting the screwworm.
To ensure that we keep this pest, this parasite, and others like it out of our country.
We must fight the screwworm
At all costs.
obviously at all costs.
Threaten our economy and our way of life.
Now, it's going to take about a year to get that new facility down in Edinburgh up and running. Secretary Rollins suspended all imports of horses, cattle, and bison from Mexico. The USDA will also increase mounted patrols of so-called tick riders, who are the heart of surveillance for fever ticks in cattle, now also looking for what the government hopes it can keep at bay, the new American screwworm fly, an insect the Agriculture Secretary calls a threat to national security.
Oh, we have a threat to national security. We're from the government. We're going to protect you from the new world flesh-eating screwworm. The question is, can we believe the government's official story about the screwworm when they've lied to us so often about things like the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the Pentagon Papers, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, MK Ultra, weapons of mass destruction, Watergate, the Iran-Contra affair, NSA surveillance, and the list goes on and on. It's a disgustingly long list. So my question is, are we actually being invaded by this flesh-eating screwworm? Or is this just a concocted story to distract us from the fact that food prices are going up? And here's the reason for it. It's not the government, it's the screwworm. It's not the tariffs, it's the screwworm. Why won't you believe us? We're from the government, we're just here to help ourselves to your stuff. Leave your thoughts about this. I want to hear what you have to say in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list or my website, highimpactflix.com, and I will see you in the next video.